When setting up your clients in TechSHIP, you will have to configure billing accounts for them to operate with and through. By setting up the billing accounts, you will be able to specify how the account should work for that client, setting label references, packing slips usage, rate shopping, markups, WMS information updating, and carrier options, such as the default service level, address validation, sender and return addresses, etc. This video will approach the generic setup, while others are specifically meant for certain carriers. To add the account to the client profile, you will have to first access clients under the maintenance menu. Then click on the client for which you wish to set up the billing account. Then press Add Billing Account. After doing so, select the source account which will be used and save. By adding the account to the client, you have completed the first stage, but then you have to edit the billing account to set up the behavior. Let's set up the general options. In the General Options tab, the key elements are, first of all, references, which allow you to choose the references that need to be shown in the labels and in which order. Take into account that not all the carriers support using 4 references. If you choose options from the drop-down, the values will be variable depending on the order, but if you need to show a fixed value, for example a warehouse or account code, you can type whichever value is needed into the reference fields. If you're going to be using rate shopping, you can check the rate shopping for TechSHIP to consider this account when you are rate shopping for this client. You can also check Include Packing Slips if you're going to be using packing slips together with your labels. A set of additional fields allow you to choose a default or custom packing slip model, merge the packing slip with the carrier label, or set the ship from information through the Packing Slips Config tab. When closing or updating information into the WMS, you are allowed to specify which actions should take place to update your WMS when the orders are manifested. The possible scenarios are close orders in WMS, which if checked when you manifest, your WMS gets updated with the order information and closes them as well. You can also choose to only update orders in WMS, which is shown when close orders in WMS is disabled. And when you manifest, your WMS gets updated with the order information, yet you will have to close them manually on the WMS side. Also, as optional, you can update freight in the WMS. If this option is checked, it updates the freight information into the WMS as well with the regular information. If you have markups, you can set up your markups for this client and account as a percentage, a fixed value, or both. If you choose to do both, they add if you use both fields. Markups are added when you push the information to the WMS. And also, you can enable signature required features from here. You can specify if the signature is required or not. By default, TechSHIP takes the order information, yet you can force it to enable or disable it for all orders. Now that we have set up the general information, let's go to the Carrier Options tab. The Carrier Options tab content varies considerably depending on the account's carrier. These are the key elements for most of them. First, Default Service Code, which allows you to choose a service code to assign to imported orders which don't have a service code, or keep it if they have. If you wish to overwrite any code coming from the WMS with the chosen service, you can check Override WMS Service Code. You can choose between the service level that comes with the order, Eco Mode, which grabs the cheapest service, or an arbitrary service level for all cases. Then we have billing account number and payment type, where you can specify which account number is to be billed and how. For example, prepaid, sender, third party, collect, etc. We also have address validation options, which allows you to choose which level of address validation you can use. Not only the address is validated, but take into account that for some carriers, detecting residential areas impacts in the charges. Some carriers have a fixed address validation level by default and do not provide options to pick from. Then you can choose a package type, which allows you to specify which package type you will be using. It could be a specific one or a variable, such as user provided, depending on the case. Also, a key element is the sender address. By default, TechSHIP uses automatically the address that you provided for the carrier account upon setup as a sender address. If you wish to keep it, no additional action is needed. If you need to change it, you can use override sender or return addresses. When it comes to return information, by default, TechSHIP automatically uses the address you provided for the carrier upon setup as a return address. If you wish to keep it, no additional action is needed. If you need to change it, you can use a return address override checkbox. Also, you will need to check print return labels if you will be printing them. One more element is currency and duties. You can specify the currency the account will use as reference and who will be paying for the duty charges. In some cases, it might require for you to fill up additional fields. Depending if you're rate shopping or not with this account, you're able to specify rate shopping service code, which is optional. You might want to specify which services in particular you want to be taken into consideration or excluded when rate shopping. You can set them from here, but we have a specific video for this feature. After doing so, press save, and then you'll be able to use your billing account within your client. We have more videos regarding client setup and billing account setup. Make sure you don't miss them. Thanks for watching and enjoy your TechSHIP experience.